Hey everyone, welcome back to 22 Panels. This is the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and elevate the medium of comics. I am Tyler, and across the interwebs from me is Tad. Hey Tad, how are you?
I'm good. My third
Good.
podcast of the day, fourth of the
Yep.
weekend.
Yep.
Good readings, good
hmm
readings, and it's not like there's anything else to do right now.
Not really today. I I have been quite busy with my little grassroots left-wing group that I'm
And that
that I'm
that that's fantastic. Though I was
um
making a joke because so much of the country is doing the same thing right now. We just happen not
yes,
to be among them.
yeah. So much of the country right now is watching a certain program that I'm not interested in
A
watching,
sporting
honestly.
event
Yeah.
that is being attended by the president for the first time ever, which
Mhm.
apparently did marvels for security and downtown traffic.
I bet. Well, it doesn't help that Taylor Swift is also there.
Yeah, no, I would my dream
Mhm.
and I haven't gotten any news alerts, so I'm assuming it didn't happen because the NFL decided to get rid of their end racism in the end zones
Yes.
because he was coming. My
Yep.
dream was that every player on both teams would take a knee during the
Right.
anthem.
Right. Yeah, that would have been oh, that would have been crazy. I mean,
But
Colin Kaepernick, right? Uh, is that who it was?
was the one
That
that started it. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't think I didn't watch. When was kickoff?
I think 5:30, something like
Okay.
that. I've
You
paid
know,
no
like
attention.
me
I'm
either. I
I,
was
I'm certain that I would have gotten a news alert if anything that extreme had happened. That's the
oh
only
sure.
reason that I'm assuming that it didn't. Is
Uh-huh.
that like the New York Times and the Washington Post would be going, "The show of defiance against President Trump."
Well, I can't believe they took out the, erase racism thing. Is that what it said? In the end
Yeah,
zone.
I
That was
can.
just because he's coming. I
I
just
mean, honestly, the end racism in the end zone was a business decision to begin with.
okay.
Um, and now the business calculations have changed
Yeah, true.
because as it turns out, when a president of the United States wants to target your company, it can become expensive.
Yeah.
So all of these people you see rolling over for Trump, I mean, they're not any more or less progressive than they were when they were doing Black Lives Matter stuff. It's just all business decisions. And that's why we really shouldn't be looking to businessmen as our moral compasses.
Right.
Certainly not the decisions they make for their billion-dollar companies. Um,
Um, yeah.
speaking of business and the orange one,
hmm
a major tariff war with Canada and Mexico, our two closest allies, um, was narrowly averted.
Uh-huh.
Um, a couple of things I want to point out if anybody listening isn't aware, just in case. First, the trade deal that was so completely unfair that Trump needed to renegotiate was
Yes.
the one that he made.
Yes. In like what year
The
was
trade
it?
deal that was in place with Canada
2018
and
or something?
Mexico was the one that he made
Yeah.
when he tore up NAFTA.
Yep.
And yes, there are many people who think that the deal he made was even better for Canada and NAFTA or Mexico than NAFTA was, but still,
Right.
not
That's what I'm
not
saying.
like so much better that US isn't the clear winner.
Yep.
But second and most important, he caved.
Oh yeah. I am
Neither
really tired
country gave up anything.
no.
They made announcements that they were doing things that in Canada's case, they also announced in December that they were going to do, and in Mexico's case, they had done 3 years ago.
Okay, so my question about Canada is they had talked to Biden and came to the same agreement. Why hadn't they implemented it yet?
Because it takes time.
Okay.
Takes time.
That was, yep. That's all I was wondering because I
Right.
was like, okay.
Just
Did
wasn't
they
all the way.
have,
I mean, I think they've started already.
yep, yep.
And I guess they did agree to uh 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 implement a border czar, which one of the
Hmm.
greatest tweets I saw this week was the idea that they should announce that it's a some fictional Canadian character and see how long it takes the Trump administration to figure it out.
God, that would be hilarious.
Dudley Do Right is our border czar.
Hmm. That would be fun. And use a really well-known character, right? And
But the reason that this actually has to do with comics is that China, which the tariffs did go into place, is
Mhm.
where a lot of graphic novels in particular are printed, and a huge number of um, single issue comics are printed in Canada,
Yes.
and and even the ones that aren't printed in Canada, a massive amount of the paper comes from Canada. Or if the
Mhm.
paper doesn't come from Canada, the wood comes from Canada. So, like, it would have been a massive shoot ourselves in the foot. I
Mhm.
love the people on the right that are going, no, no, a tariff isn't a tax because you can choose to buy American. You can't choose to buy American coffee. There is no coffee made in America.
Right, right,
Coffee
right.
beans don't grow well in America. It's pretty hard to choose to buy American paper because there's not a lot of paper made in America because we're already deforested and even to the extent we aren't, we've stopped making paper because we can get
Right,
it from other people at a better price. You know, so yeah, maybe sometime we'll be able to buy American paper, but like somebody will have to go build the mills,
right.
you know.
Yep.
Um there aren't American avocados.
No.
Again, our climate just isn't conducive to growing avocados. I mean, I guess we can grow them indoors, so start keeping your avocado pits so you can have your own avocado garden in your kitchen.
Right.
Um, but, but you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just like the shoot oneself in the foot of it is kind of massive. Um,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it still has real consequences in comics.
Hmm.
I can't say for certain that it's because of this, but four smaller presses, and not small presses, just smaller. Dark Horse, IDW, Ablaze, and Alien, who currently has the Valiant license,
Hmm.
all laid off staff this week.
Dang.
Um, some of that has to do with Diamond's bankruptcy and things not going out, but a lot of it has to do with there being a massive uncertainty right now about what the cost of printing comics is going to be in the next year or so.
Right. It's gonna be, yeah.
Because the trade war right now has only been delayed a month. Now, I'm hoping that the Onion has it right when it says that the strategy is that he will have forgotten a month from now. I think that this is actually distinctly possible.
Very much so.
But
He just throws crap
but
out there and doesn't even
right,
think about it.
right. Um which is, I mean, terrible on so many levels, I mean, um yeah, there's a good chance that we won't actually put troops on the ground to clear out Gaza and that it will never become the Riviera of the Mediterranean, you know, Trump Middle East. But just saying that he wants to do it
Right.
is a massive recruiting tool for Hamas.
Yes.
How much easier is it to recruit somebody to your cause when you say, look, if you want to continue living in the only home you've ever known, the only way to
Yep.
do it is to fight for it.
Hmm.
And like this again isn't like this hard logic.
Right.
This isn't convoluted logic to get to that. They
Yep.
their version of American exceptionalism seems to also include we are literally the only people in the world who would stand up and fight for our way of life.
Hmm.
Everybody else only fights because they don't like us. And therefore they're not motivated and we can easily overwhelm them. That is the American exceptionalism viewpoint. And it's just I don't think it's true.
I agree. I don't think that's true.
I don't think we're like this special breed of humans that care about our way of life that much more than all the other humans on Earth.
Yeah, because other humans on Earth haven't got to experience the joy of being a United States citizen. Once you reach that pinnacle, okay, life becomes so golden.
Well, and that if that was true, then like
Of
we'd
course,
have
our lives.
civil war on this soil because when ICE was going after people, they would be like fighting tooth and nail not to have to be going anywhere else.
Yep.
But instead, really, you have a lot of immigrants that would prefer to be home.
Uh-huh. Yep.
They're not home because home's not safe, or they're not
Mm.
home because they need to be here to support families at home,
Right.
or they're not home because they're not really citizens of that country. Um, and then they're not fighting because they feel like their biggest hope is to not fight against the Americans. I
Right.
mean, they come up with the most convoluted logic they possibly can, which is why
Yep.
we'll go through our final point. And I wanted to keep this more on the light side. You're aware, and at some point, and maybe I'll even try to do it for these show notes. I know I listened to a podcast once that actually broke down why government software tends to be antiquated. And it's
Oh,
essentially
okay.
because to get a software contract, you have to go through massive amounts of security hoops to even be able to bid. So a new group coming in is actually very, very hard. And once you've got the software contract, you don't have the same motivation to like upgrade or anything because it's very, very hard for somebody else to come in and replace you because you've already done the security work. B, the more you change the software, the more other security work you have to go through to be able to change the software, which means the significant part, a significant amount of um, government systems are running on COBOL.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with programming?
I'm looking it up right now. I am familiar with programming. I know, as far as languages go, um, a few little bit about, okay, COBOL.
COBOL is
Yeah.
ancient.
Yeah. Holy cow.
COBOL is ancient. And to give you an example of how fragile it can be for people that don't know it, during the pandemic, when they like massively upped um,
Is it spelled
the
COBL, not KOBL?
it might be.
Okay.
I might have been using the um Dungeons and Dragons character instead of the um but
Yes, because it stands for Common Business Oriented Language.
right.
So,
But like New Jersey put out practically a red alert during the pandemic for people who knew how to program COBOL when they needed to flesh out their systems to get unemployment payments and whatnot out.
right.
Because there's word that even though the people at Treasury are going nuts not to let Elon's people get to too much stuff, they're also actually helping them a fair amount because their biggest fear, like obviously, yes, they fear what will be done with them having like access to the wrong data or what things they wanna cut. But their biggest fear is that they'll just accidentally crash the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
possibly irreparably.
Right.
So, like, this is so much bigger of a deal than most people are. I mean, and don't get me wrong, most people who are talking about this at all are talking about how big of a deal it is. It is a really big
Right.
deal. But
Yes.
there's also the on top of the great risks that could come through malicious intent,
Yes.
there's a massive risk that could come from just basic user error because the chances of any 20-year-old ever having programmed in COBOL are slim to none.
True.
Hasn't
Yeah.
really been used as a programming language in their lifetimes.
That is not good.
You know what I mean? I mean, you
Yes.
were just looking it up. Does it give
Yep.
you dates?
No. Okay. Let's see here. Wikipedia says first appeared in 1959.
Yeah, 1959.
Yep. Okay.
And there have been stable releases as late as 2023, but
2022 is what I'm finding, but yeah, it's been a long time.
I'm betting that for the most part, the only reason
23.
it still
Yep.
has
There we
stable releases coming out is because it's still used in government.
go. Ugh,
you,
crazy.
you know,
Yeah. You know what's sad for me? Okay, this is a little off topic, but I was out to dinner with my brother last night. My brother is 100% middle of the road kind of guy. You know what I mean?
right,
He doesn't love Trump, but he is definitely not a Democrat, kind of thing.
right.
But he has kept his head in the sand on purpose in the last few months. He has purposely stayed off social
Lots of people
media,
have.
doesn't watch the news. When I was explaining to him what is going on, he just flat out didn't believe me.
I know.
He
I
was
know.
just like, he goes, that can't happen. Congress wouldn't allow that. And I said, they're not
They are
doing
allowing
anything.
it.
Yep,
Right.
I know.
Um,
That's what it
uh,
really made me sad. I wanted to just scream, please turn on your TV.
uh,
Please look at what's going
or,
on.
or go read. Don't turn on your TV right now because like
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
none of the TV, pretty much all the TV networks have bent the knee at some level.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's I mean, that's more extreme than a lot of what I see. What I see a lot is people that are like, I can't look at it. It stresses me out too much. I got to focus on things that I can do and hope that
Yeah.
things turn out well. And it's like, on one level, I get that. And on another level, it's like, what happens when there is something that you can do, but you don't know it because you weren't paying attention? What
Yep.
happens when maybe there isn't something that you can do, but you've got a narrow window to minimize your losses, but
Yep.
you don't know it because you weren't paying attention.
Right.
We both work in education and like thankfully both in states that take education seriously, so our jobs aren't in nearly the level of jeopardy, but
Yep.
like if they gut the Department of Education, the way they're talking,
Yep.
the primary thing that the Department of Education does is disperse money.
Tuesday. Yeah.
It doesn't tell them what to teach. That's done
No,
at the state and local level.
it's
It
already
just
done at the
doesn't,
look. So, yep.
for that matter, as much as they love to yell about Common Core, blah, blah, the Common Core was an Obama thing. Common Core is what got adopted by a lot of the states after Obama killed No Child Left Behind.
Yes.
The last time the government was specifically telling the nation certain things that it had to teach was Bush's No Child Left Behind.
Oh, why some reason I thought that was Clinton's thing.
No. Oh.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, what is sad is that so many people think what this is going to mean is states get to decide for themselves on what their curriculum is going to be, and I'm like, they
They
already
already do.
do that. They
Yeah,
already do that.
they
And
already do.
I said, what this means is states don't get the federal funding.
Right.
You don't
It,
understand
it,
what's
mean,
at
it
stake
means
here.
it means states don't get the federal funding,
Yeah.
which for a lot of red states means that their funding will be cut in half or more.
Uh-huh.
And it means there's nobody to enforce special education laws.
No.
There's nobody to enforce Title IX
No.
or any of the. So I mean, one of the things that Kelly came across that I think is really good is like when people say DEI, play
Hmm.
dumb long enough for them to actually have to say the words.
Yep. I think if you were going to say you are
Because what
anti-DEI,
do you
then you have
have
to say it out
against
loud.
inclusion? Yeah, what do you
Yep.
have against inclusion? What do you have against equity? What do you have against diversity?
Hmm.
If you can't answer those three individual questions, then shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Or admit that when you are saying DEI, it's because you're not allowed to say the N word.
Exactly.
Um, because that's what it's coming down to is they're trying to reestablish the idea that white males are inherently more qualified and that no
Yep.
other person could be qualified without somebody giving them some sort of leg up.
Yeah.
Um, which is just yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
let's talk some new comic series because we got some fun ones.
Hmm.
Uh,
We do.
I get to lead off.
I was gonna do one of the Godzilla ones, but I decided to wait on those. You go
Yeah.
first.
Well, I mean, I think when we do them, the
Hmm.
reason I did the A through F is
Yeah.
is
Let's do
is
it
the
together.
Marvel one should all be done together. And I
Right.
don't even know if we know what the last two are. We just know that there's going to be six.
Mhm.
Um,
That's why.
and
Yeah, that was another reason I was
yeah,
hanging on to wait.
yeah, but I don't know if we'll know before the end of the month. We should check when we decide to do them to see if anything's been announced. But I did
Okay.
go like digging before, but that was a couple weeks ago, so who knows? But anyway, Ironheart, Bad Chemistry from John Jennings and Jethro Morales at Marvel. A nemesis returns, sending shockwaves through Riri's world. She's already attacked Chicago once and made off with the valuable artifact from the DuSable Black History Museum. Now the alchemical transformer Chem, Khem, is back for another bite of Ironheart City, and this time she's not alone. What is Chem's connection to a classic Iron Man villain? And can Riri stop her before all of Chicago burns? Hugo and Eisner winning writer John Jennings teams up with an all-star artist, Jethro Morales, for action-packed flurry of blows in the Windy City in stores on April 2nd. I love me some Chicago. I love me some Riri Williams.
Hmm.
Yep.
If you left the Chicago area, where would you like to live?
Uh California, Minnesota, Costa Rica, Mexico, Iceland, or Norway, maybe Australia. Depends on whether I'm leaving the Chicago area or leaving the
Yeah,
country.
exactly. My wife and I have talked about.
Possibly the Northeast.
Uh,
I could see parts of New York or Massachusetts, maybe
yeah,
Connecticut, maybe
yeah,
Rhode Island. Um, but the Chicago area is mostly good to me.
yeah.
So I
Uh,
think there's a really good chance that barring leaving the country or
mhm.
either Kelly or I getting an unbelievable job offer, um, we'd be likely to stay here.
Yeah, same. We're not going to leave Minnesota
Yeah.
unless, like you said, those extremes. Like if we,
Yeah.
and we're looking at some places in Europe too. Of we're getting
Actually,
our passports lined up.
for me, honestly, Costa Rica is my top.
Hmm,
Low
okay,
cost of living, good universal health care and education,
okay,
and you can essentially buy your permanent residency and then like permanent residency for 5 years before you can apply for citizenship. I'd have to learn Spanish to get citizenship, but Kelly already
yeah.
knows it.
So
Um,
let's go together as a group. We'll migrate
yeah.
together, right? So
Well, and
I'm
that's actually the single biggest reason I bring up Mexico because we have a regular on the show who owns property in Mexico.
Mhm. All right, let's go back to comic books. Knife number one from Miles Gunter and Patrick Mulholland. Distillery presents a mind bending and heart rending slasher comic that cuts straight to the chase. With story by Miles Gunter from BPRD and art by Patrick Mulholland from Power Rangers, Paige Russell is nervous enough about her first day as a yoga teacher. But then something crashes her class that will put her positive worldview to the test. A twisted force locked within an ancient blade that seizes control of anyone who takes hold of it, turning them into an instrument of primal wrath. A wrath now turned on Paige when she unexplainably resists its dark allure. Now, with the help of Riva, a woman pursuing the knife and vowing revenge, Paige will face the greatest trial of her life against an unstoppable force that can use anyone as a vessel and will stop at nothing in its crusade of annihilation. How do you stay zen when every single person on Earth is the potential next wielder of the unstoppable knife? Every issue from Distilleries presented in their perfect bound prestige format, featuring wraparound covers with spot gloss on robust cover stock, complemented by 48 pages of exquisite interior stock. I totally didn't mean to read this, but it's the distillery difference. Uh, oh yeah, can you? When is this in shops? You mind scrolling up for me, Ted?
Oh, you don't quite have it. I
Oh,
thought
yep,
I'd scrolled up just far enough.
April 23rd, 2025.
All righty. Was this you or me? I think this
Lost
is me.
Fan. It
Lost
is. Yep.
Fantasy. Yeah. Lost Fantasy from Kurt Pyers and Luca Casalanguida. I like that name. Casalanguida. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Yep.
Um,
Casa
i-
Languida.
if I'm not pronouncing it right, I'd love to be corrected, and I hope it's even cooler. Um,
Yeah. Come on, Luca. I hope you're listening.
Yeah, there is a world of magic, myth, and monsters that exists between the surface of our own, or beneath the surface of our own. Since first contact was made over 100 years ago, the great hunters have kept us safe from the creatures that lurk in the shadows. But last night, something broke through, and it's up to rookie monster hunter Henry Blackheart to stop it.
Cool.
Um, in stores on April 30th.
I like the cover design. It's very cool. That sword reminds me of that God Country sword.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a great story.
And I'm taking another one,
Yep.
Pastime from Joe Harris and Russell Olson, with a beautiful main cover on issue one from Mark Chiarello. Um, Henry Hayes could have been the best baseball player anybody ever saw if only his dark affliction didn't prevent him from playing in the daylight. But when the barnstorming circuit introduces a new novelty to the game, night baseball under the bright lights, will his dreams of playing pro ball finally be realized? Or will his bloody past catch up with him before he gets a chance? From the Midwest fields of the 1920s to the big city lights of today, Pastime is a small town thriller on a national scale. In stores April 2nd.
Looks cool. Right up
Yep.
your alley.
Yeah.
All right, The Plague House from Michael W. Conrad and Dave Chisholm. Houses aren't the only thing that are haunted. This spring, Architect of Terror Michael W. Conrad and 2024 Ringo Award winner Dave Chisholm. Is it? Yes. Am I pronouncing it
Chisholm.
right? Chisholm.
Chisholm. We've had him on even.
Yeah, I know. Begin a deep and disturbing excursion into the 21st century horror with a new kind of tale that will rebuild the four walls of the American ghost story from the foundation up. 13 years ago, Orrin McCabe was a family man living a privileged life in the suburbs. Today, he's condemned to death row for murdering his entire family for an unexpected fit of hammer wielding brutality. In the aftermath of his heinous crime, it's fallen to a trio of eclectic but dedicated ghost hunters: Jacob the Holy Man, Holland the Skeptic, and their leader Dell, a true believer in the occult and worlds beyond, to surveil the abandoned McCabe home in search of proof for the existence of the undead. And whatever supernatural source may have possibly fueled McCabe's inhuman massacre. But this ill-matched and uneasy squad of investigators is about to discover something much more terrifying than any ordinary spirit. Something much more, I don't even know that word. Pernicious? Pernicious?
Pernicious.
Pernicious, much more contagious, that if not contained, could take full advantage of America's unquenchable appetite for violence and deliver a plague of blood unto us all. Plague House will be in shops April 2nd from Oni Press. This looks super cool, you guys. I am really
Does.
excited about this. Yeah.
I am a big Dave Chisholm fan.
Yeah. This
This is you.
mine as well. Slasher's
Mhm.
Apprentice from Justin Richards and Val Halverson. Riley, a horror-obsessed podcaster with a slasher villain fixation, is seeking a new career path, helping her favorite legendary slasher, the Hopton Valley Killer, regain their long-lost notoriety while learning the ropes herself. The Slasher's Apprentice will be in shops April 16th from Mad Cave. Ooh, looks creepy.
Some graphic novels. The Curse of Monte Cristo from David Dabble, Carlton Holder, and Dave Lentz. Journey to the beginnings of the bloody days of the Haitian Revolution, with a classic tale of revenge and reclamation reimagined with a horror twist. The Curse of Monte Cristo. France, 1788. Edmond Dantes, a Haitian of African descent and Parisian citizen, has been sentenced to life of hell at Chateau de Lefort for treason against the ancient regime. Once a man of faith, Edmund believes he's been abandoned by God, and the only thing that keeps him going is his deep hatred for those who he believes have framed him. Faria, an older prisoner who becomes a mentor to Edmund, confesses, "I am not flesh of this realm. Your lust for revenge drew me here." Together, they escape the prison and return to Saint Domingo, where the smell of rebellion is thick in the air. Edmund, once an enslaved man himself, thought he had escaped the colonized land and his past life for good, only to return as the wealthy and mysterious Count of Monte Cristo. In pursuit of his enemies, including Mercedes, once his fiancée, he finds his careful rage growing only more reckless and ravenous as Edmund's enemies begin to catch on to the Count's true identity, and the fight for liberation from the French colonists swells to a pop. Edmund must reckon with the deal he's made with Faria. Is it any more sinister or any different than the pact he's made with his inner demons? a reimagining of the novel by Alexander Dumas, in stores April 16th from Andrews McMeel.
Looks cool. All right. Little Visitor and Other Abduction. When I saw this, I was like, yep, I got to pick that one. Uh, from Adam Sim. The cast and crew of an obscure film recount a tragedy that occurred during its doomed production. A young girl searches for her father in the darkness of the desert and stumbles upon an otherworldly cocktail party. Two strangers nurture violent thoughts in a bitter, lonely child as his village's harvest festival nears. Connecting these three stories is one horrific theme. From cartoonist and illustrator Adam Sim comes a triptych of otherworldly science fiction horror stories about alien abduction and the negligence and malice that allows it to happen, including the Ignatz Award nominated A Cordial Invitation, Little Visitor, and a brand new tale, Frocklicker. This uncanny trilogy of graphic novellas is perfect for fans of The Twilight Zone, The X-Files, and all things beyond our understanding. This will be in shops on September 24th.
From Oni.
And from Oni, yep.
Yeah.
All
Low
right.
Orbit by Casimir Lee from Top Shelf and IDW, an atmospheric and profound coming of age graphic novel about a Malaysian American teen carving out her identity in the uneasy space between friends and family. 15-year-old Azar feels stuck. Her mom's job forced them to move to Vermont, where Azar doesn't know anyone. Her only friends are the next door neighbors, an aging sci fi writer and his non binary teen, Tristan, fellow misfits in the small town community. For a while, Azar can escape her troubles by disappearing into the pages of her kindly neighbor's epic novel, The Exiles of Overworld. But when her queerness throws her life out of balance, Azar realizes some secrets can't be escaped forever. Somewhere in the abandoned malls, lakes, and comic conventions that fill her new life, Azar fights to find herself. What else will she discover? In stores on April 29th.
All right. Octavia Butler, Parable of the Talents. Uh, let's see. Written by Octavia Butler and Damian Duffy with
Yeah,
art
they
by
flip
John Jennings.
flopped I think they flip flopped the artist and
I
writer
think
here.
so. Yeah.
Jennings is the writer.
Okay.
Duffy's the.
Yeah. Okay. Octavia Butler's Parable of Talents, a graphic novel adaptation, is the continuation of the travels of Laura Ina, brought to life by Damian Duffy and John Jennings, the creative team behind the number one New York Times bestseller, Kindred, a graphic novel adaptation. Parable of the Talents is told in the voice of Lauren Alamina's daughter, Asha Vire, from whom she has been separated for most of the girl's life, interspersed with sections in the form of Lauren's own journals. Against the backdrop of war-torn continent under the control of a Christian fundamentalist fascist state, Asha searches for answers about her own past while struggling to reconcile with her mother's legacy, caught between her duty to her chosen family and her calling to lead humankind into a better future among the stars. This is going to be in shops April 23rd from
Yeah,
Abrams Comic Arts.
I'm gonna need to read this trilogy finally this year. Kindred,
Yeah,
Parable of this Hour, Parable of the Talents. I want
yeah.
to say Octavia Butler wrote them long time ago,
Hmm.
and they've been adapted quite well.
Looks great. I can't wait
Yeah.
to check them out.
Paul Auster's New York trilogy, City of Glass, Ghosts, and the Locked Room, illustrated by Paul Karasik, Lorenzo Matati, and David Mazzucchelli, uh, all overseen by Paul Karasik. I have had the privilege of reading this already. It is outstanding. Um, from award-winning novelist Paul Auster comes the graphic adaptation of his deeply beloved series, The New York Trilogy, a postmodern take on detective and noir fiction. In 1994, Paul Auster's City of Glass was adapted into a graphic novel and became an immediate cult classic, published in over 30 editions worldwide, accepted in the Northern Anthology of Postmodern Fiction. But City of Glass was only the first novel in a series of books, Auster's acclaimed New York trilogy. And graphic novel readers have been waiting for years for the other two tales to be translated into comics. Now the wait is over. The New York trilogy is postmodern literature disguised as noir fiction where language is the prime suspect. The interpretation of detective and mystery fiction, each book explores various philosophical themes. In City of Glass, an author of detective fiction investigates a murder and descends into madness. Ghosts features a private eye named Blue trailing a man named Black for a client called White. This too ends with the protagonist's downfall. And into the locked room, another author is experiencing writer's block and hopes to break it by solving the disappearance of his childhood friend. The second two parts of this trilogy will be appearing in this volume for the very first time as a graphic novel. Paul Karasik, mastermind behind the three adaptations, art directed all three books. City of Glass is illustrated by award-winning cartoonist David Mazzucchelli. Second volume Ghost is illustrated by New York cover artist Lorenzo Matati, and The Locked Room is adapted and drawn by Karasik himself. These adaptations take Auster's sophisticated wordplay and translate it into comics play, both highbrow and lowbrow, and immensely fun reading. Yeah, I was a very big fan of this.
Yeah.
And
I
I
love
feel like we're gonna have to do a deep dive into this and reading the originals and yeah.
hmm Well, just on this cover alone, I love how it's divided, right? So you've got this really deep, sketched out middle section of his face,
Mhm.
and the top portion it looks like kind of a crayon drawing, and the bottom section is, more of a simple line. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I'm pretty certain that we're actually looking at um the top is Mazzucchelli, the middle is Matati, and the
Yep.
bottom is Karasik.
Yep.
Um, so yeah,
Love
very,
it.
very good stuff, and way up your alley.
hmm All right, Skin Police. This looks like it is a collection.
Not a graphic novel. My fault. I put it in the wrong spot.
Skin Police. This cover is gross, you guys. There's just a giant hole through some flesh of bodies. I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, but
All
there's
right,
also hands in there, so
I
I
know.
mean,
Yep. This
yeah,
is from Jordan Thomas and Daniel Geet. From Rising Star Jordan Thomas and viscerally talented artist Daniel Geet comes a hyper-violent sci-fi action spectacle that will force you to trust no one, not even yourself. In the year 2142, fertility levels around the globe plummeted, and a black market for illegal clone babies emerged. Millions of parents used their own genetic material to welcome these new children, only realizing the horrific consequences far too late. At some point in their life cycle, 3 and 4 of these genetic duplicates transform into some psychologically unstable killing machines known as dupes. Unfortunately, the United Nations of Europe has decided to take an active role in the containing the growing threat. Their specialized task force has taken up the inevitable task of hunting dupes before their violence can spread to the government. They are the duplicate identification and capture division. To everyone else, they are the skin police. The worst part of their job, it's always the one you least suspect. This looks gross and it's in stores August 13th. This is again right up my alley. I can't wait to
yeah. I
get
was about
this.
to say, it might look gross, but
But I'm gonna
that's a
read it.
good thing from Tyler's perspective.
Yep, but I'm gonna read it.
Yeah. Continuing on collections, so at least
Yeah.
Skin Police was the last graphic novel.
Yeah.
um, EC Cruel Universe Volume 1. Compelled to oblivion, driven by entropy, all life in our cosmos can only end in one place complete annihilation. For the first time in 70 years, the limitless fury of EC Comics rages back to life to shred the very fabric of the universe itself and wrench bizarre tales of time and space into our dimensional plane. Our guides across this riveting introduction to a cosmic maelstrom of strange extraterrestrial entities, malevolent scientists, and terrifying technological catastrophe. Learn to fear the void with the irradiated imaginations of writers Karina Betchko, Christopher Cantwell, Chris Condon, Matt Kint, Stephanie Phillips, Ben H. Winters, and more as they collide with the wondrously destructive visions of artists Jonathan Case, Cano, David Lapham, Allison Sampson, Artyom Topolin, Caitlin Yarsky, and many more. The unpredictable return of EC Comics continues here with the Quantum Comics event of the millennium. Galaxies will collapse, space-time will be distorted, and your very will to exist, too, shall be broken. Just remember, it's all in the name of science. In stores on July 2nd.
Yep. Cool. All right. Hecate's
Hecate's
will. God, if I could pronounce things today, like a rube over here. Hecate's will, from is that Lolanda?
I think it's
Zanfardino.
Iolanda.
Iolanda Zanfardino. In Hecate's will, we meet legendary New York City graffiti artist Hecate, who is facing burnout and despair. Excuse me. And despair, and has since decided to retire, abandoning her dream of changing the world through art. Excuse me, 1 second. I gotta get a drink.
Not allowed. All right.
But before she quits, she's going to create one final street art experience, a graffiti scavenger hunt through the streets of Manhattan that will lead her fans to a final message and artistic testament. As her street art experiment catches fire with young New York City artists and activists, Hecate's best friend ropes her into working on a revival of the musical Rent by a joyous ensemble of LGBTQIA artists who remind her how art brings people together, challenging all of Hecate's expectations and assumptions. But will it be enough to inspire Hecate to renew her convictions and remain true to her artistic self? As Iolanda describes her book, Hecate's Will is a story for anyone who knows that making art means proudly showing your scars to the world. With Hecate's Will, Iolanda Zanfardino has created a character struggling against creative burnout, isolation, and heartache. Hecate's true nemesis is despair itself. She just might be the very hero we need right now. This is in shops April 30th from, who is the publisher
Black
here?
Mask.
Black
Black
Mask.
Mask. Yeah.
Cool.
Joyride, the complete collection from Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, and Marcus Toe. Steal a spaceship and leave Earth behind? A simple plan made much more complicated by the fascist world government alliance that has put the planet on lockdown underneath an artificial sky. Still, that won't stop Uma Acolyte, her best friend Dewed, and would-be captor Katrin from embarking on a joyride unlike any other. Joyride is a gleeful mix of the thrill of exploration, the importance of friendship, and the fight against authoritarianism, with a cast of wild and gripping characters, human and alien alike. From writers Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly and artist Marcus Toe of the Eisner Award-nominated Star Trek and Guardians of the Galaxy, come this definitive, complete collection of a truly unique and adventurous love letter to science fiction. I loved this series. And I'm kind of looking forward to getting it all together in one big volume. I just wish it was hard. I just wish it was hardcover.
It looks cool though.
It is.
All right.
It's a great series.
Mm-hmm. All right, Madman Omnibus Volume 1. All right, from Madman's first appearance through his mysterious origins to his adventures throughout time, space, and pop art absurdity. Follow Frank Einstein's superhero's alter ego, Madman, as he adventures through Snap City and encounters many zany and timeless characters and villains in this true homage to superhero fiction, metaphysical philosophy, 1950s science fiction films, rock and roll pop music, and much more in this true humorous and heartfelt comic book classic. This six-volume Madman Universe Omnibus series collects all of Elrod's award-winning Madman Universe, aka the Madmaniverse, stories in selected reading order for the ultimate Madman fan. This 680-page volume collects Madman's adventures from 1990 to 1996, reprinting for the record Madman 1 through 3, Madman's Adventures 1 through 3, and Madman's Comics 1 through 10, Mike Allred's first foray into comics called They, and featuring bonus pinups and art by some of comics' greatest talent like Frank Miller, Jack Kirby, Mobius, Frank Frazetta, Emily Carroll, and more. This will be in shop as soon as I see the date. June
June
24th.
24.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking. I haven't read enough Madman. I need to.
Me either, but it looks awesome. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. I have never heard of it.
Oh no, well, you have not watched Chasing Amy?
Yeah, I watched Chasing Amy. I didn't. I
At the
haven't watched it in like
beginning,
20 years.
at the very first scene has the guy talking to Mike Allred and
Mm.
Mike Allred saying, I think I love Chow Yun Fat, but I don't know if he's the right one to play Madman.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch that movie because when I watched it, I was probably not in the comic book
Right.
world to catch the reference, right?
And all of that comic art was done
By Mike.
by Mike Allred. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I seem to recognize that lightning logo. I think that Jason Lee wore that T-shirt, right?
I think so. It's definitely appeared in various Viewisk universe
Because
stuff.
I recognize that logo of the lightning, like
Mhm.
exclamation point.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Sorry
Yeah.
about my camera. It just went blurry on me. I'm not
Yeah,
sure how
that's
to
okay.
fix it. Not
Yeah,
sure
it's
how to.
just out of focus. Out of
It
focus.
it's weird.
Roderick and the City of Moorhill from Eduardo Medeiros. Roderick is a dedicated young postman from the countryside making a delivery in Moorhill, the biggest city on the entire continent. While his journey is initially exciting and the fantasy metro vibrant, the Naive Roderick is blind to Moorhill's or naive Roderick is blind to Moorhill's dark, sneaky underbelly. His precious cargo is stolen. And what's more, he finds himself at the center of an even larger conspiracy surrounding the disappearance of a famous influencer. Will Roderick be able to prove himself as a postman by delivering the goods, or will this froggy bumpkin be crushed under the goings on in the biggest city? Collecting issues 1 to 5 of Roderick of the City and the City of Moorhill, originally released by Comixology's Originals and the Stout Club, the creative powerhouse composed by comic creators Eduardo Medeiros, Mateus Santaluco, Rafael Albuquerque, and Rafael Scavone.
Mhm.
Eduardo Medeiros' colorful fantasy's tale is the perfect pick for lovers of whimsy and the fantastical, filled with memorable characters and chock full of sight gags that allow the reader to linger on the page, looking for more. Presented in print for the first time by Ablaze in stores June 25th.
Nice. All right, Slam complete collection from Pamela Ribbon. Art by Veronica Fish and Marina Julia. Let's see here. From fresh meat orientation to becoming leaders on and off the track, follow Jennifer, Knockout Chew, and Macy Can Huff on their journey to roller derby domination. Messy lives, complicated breakups, and new romance blossom as they learn to take their hits, get back up, break some bones, take on adult responsibilities, and jam on their competing teams in the East Side Roller Girls League. From best-selling novelist, Academy Award nominated screenwriter, actress, and former Los Angeles Derby doll Pamela Ribbon, illustrator and painter Veronica Fish, and acclaimed artist Marina Julia come the definitive collection of the beloved dramedy Slam. This collects Slam 1 through 4 and Slam the Next Jam 1 through 4 in shops in April 29th. My local Derby racer, God, what are they called? I'm trying to think of the local Derby team that I've seen uh, in
I've
Sioux
never seen roller
Falls.
derby except on TV or movies.
Yeah, we've got one in Sioux Falls. The name will come to me. It's a great name. But anyway, go on,
All
moving
right,
on.
some upcoming final order cutoff. This is all final order cutoff of February 17th. First is assorted crisis events from Dennis Camp and Eric Zawadzki. Um, yeah, this just looks fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It does.
Time is having a crisis.
Okay.
Mingling in the red light district, you can find actual cavemen, medieval knights, and cyborg soldiers on leave from World War IV. Victorian debutantes amble their way into cell phone stores, confused and bewildered. What is a data plan? On their way to work, bleary eyed commuters get trapped in time loops, assaulted by alternate reality versions of themselves, and try to avoid post apocalyptic wastelands. And look, the 315 bus just took a wrong turn into the Neolithic era. Dennis Camp, Eric Zawadzki, Jordi Belair, and Hassan Atzmen El How are proud to present assorted crisis events, an ongoing zigzagging anthology series about the compromised clicks of our clocks. Full of one shot stories, both beautiful and ugly, tragic and redemptive, surreal and somehow all too familiar. Stories of people and reality in crisis, trying to keep it together while the world is falling apart. Second by Twisted Second. I just had to read all of that because this book looks so fucking cool.
It does. It
I
does.
love Dennis Camp,
Okay.
and it just looks really cool. I won't.
I
I won't
have
read all,
to,
full on FOC.
right.
But what was that?
I have to take back my earlier sentence when I said the Sioux Falls had a really cool roller derby name. They don't. It's the Roller Dolls. So it's just
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah,
doll, right?
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, go
Uh,
on.
Also on Final Order Cutoff, we have Dark Pyramid from Paul
Uh-huh.
Tobin and PJ Holden. We
Yeah.
have Goes Like This, a collection of cartoons from Jordan Crane. Harley Quinn, Fartacular, Silent but Deadly. A one
Yep.
shot from Joanne Sterer, Ted Brandt, and Rose Stein that includes Scratch and Smith.
Are you a fan of like these kind of dick and fart jokes that are, I I just kind of just
It
eh,
depends on how well they're done. I
yeah.
can see Joanne Sterer, Brandt, and Rose Stein
Yep.
knocking it out of the fucking park.
Yep. I could see that.
Like there are lots of creators that I could see on this and go, yeah, I don't care.
Yes. Yep.
Um, or if I didn't know the creators, there'd be a good chance that I wouldn't care. But like I will read anything that those three do together or separately. I
Yeah.
mean, Brandon Stein always work together, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
I read everything Joanne Sterer does. I read everything Ted and Roe
Ted
draw.
and Row too. Yep.
You know, um, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Season of the Roses from Chloe Wary.
Hmm.
And Fanagraphics is a nice coming of age, like college soccer. Well, I guess 19 and under soccer. So traveling soccer, only it's in Europe. So I don't know if they're traveling soccer teams. You know what I mean? Something like
Yeah,
that.
and
People will get used to it. And I put this one
the
on
cover is
just,
crazy. It's done with marker.
yeah.
Oh,
The whole thing
back
I think
to
is done
Chloe's
with
art
marker.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it going, that's
Hmm.
marker. That's a
Hmm.
crazy cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what she uses for her art in general. Um,
Okay. Well,
Fantagraphics will also often do comics from people who do unique styles.
yep. I love it. I love it.
I do too. And then the hardcover deluxe edition of Superman Up in the Sky,
Hmm.
which reminded me that we can choose hope even in the spite of all evidence. Some Kickstarters out there right now. I Dragon trilogy from Juan Jimenez. I think available in English, possibly for the first time. It's already way past its goal, so pledging now would just mean that you know that you're getting the book, and it's going through February 12th. Also, way
Hmm.
past its goal is California Inc. In the near future, California becomes a corporate country with factions fighting to shape the new nation. Again, past its goal and available through February 13th. We need a little help here for Bridges, comic book issue one. Four superpowered teen girls risk it all to save their beloved city of Oakland, California, from friend of the podcast, Greg Burnham. And with it was like on the tip of my tongue. I was looking at Bridges. I almost said Greg Bridges. I'm like, that's not right. Greg Burnham. Go listen to our talk about it. Even also pencils from Jamie Rochelle and co-created by Leo Stevens. This looks cool. Greg does great work,
Hmm.
and it's a modest goal that they're about 75% of the way to, something like that.
Hmm.
So go back, Bridges issue one, sometime in the next 6 days before February 16th. Um, I think you can digital copy, yeah, physical copy starts at $10. Digital
Great.
copy at six. So and if you want a bundle with other Greg Burnham stuff, they are also available. So lots of good options at reasonable prices.
Perfect.
Always punch Nazis. Project that collects
Yes.
all three anti-Nazi anthologies that changed the face of an industry. I don't really know which industry they changed the face of, but um, from Ben Ferrari, this is again already funded and available through February 19th. The Shift Project, story and worlds are formed from four artists tasked with one writer's script and each building their own vision from it. Again, fully funded and available through February 20th. And then Dark Pink, the world's freshest new comic book adventure, is also fully funded and available through February 23rd. So, yeah, that's that's a rundown of things that people should be looking for. God, we keep getting longer with that part, but I feel like it's
I was
important.
just gonna say that was a big portion of the episode so far. Holy
Yeah,
buckets.
yeah.
Because we're
We'll
just
have
now
we'll have to
getting.
yeah, we'll have to debate whether or not we want to try to cut that down or not. I go back and forth. There's so many good books out there, and like I want to manage to talk about as many as possible, but at the same time,
So my opinion is to keep the new issues and the new series and the graphic novels. I feel like the trade paperbacks are kind of redundant about, you know what I mean?
they are, except that there's so many people that wait for the trades.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just thinking, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's the entire. I mean, I generally put the same rule on the trades that I do, with some exceptions. I mean, we've got Survival Street Volume 2 on our list,
Yeah.
but I generally use the same rules with trades that I use for series, where it's like only volume ones, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
are you
Cool.
still putting chapters in so people can skip stuff?
I haven't lately, so I
Okay.
gotta get back to that.
Yeah, because then people can go, yeah, I don't want to hear about this.
Yeah. They
What'd
love it
you love
all.
this week?
They loved it all. Seasons number one. And I don't know if this came out this week or last week, but it hit my shop.
Yeah, no, welcome to the diamond world. And like when books come out is inconsistent.
Yeah, so Seasons is a new book by Rick Remender. And who else is on
Paul
this thing?
Azaceta and
Paul Azaceta.
Matthias Lopez on color.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was
Tell me about it because I haven't actually read it yet.
it's a couple detectives, and like 10 years ago their famous parents like disappeared, and they have
Okay.
to raise themselves. They're sisters, so they kind of remind me of the the Santos sisters, right?
Okay.
But not silly like that,
Okay.
so the younger sister is Spring, and she is the last hope of saving them from their death, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Might have
I
to check
liked
that
it.
out.
I liked it. It's fun. And my second choice was miss my thing here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number six. Jason
Still
Aaron and
loving
Juan
your Aaron on
Ferreira.
Turtles.
Yeah, since he's taken over, it is taken a different direction, and I love it that they started out with the turtles apart, and then they've had to come together now in issue six. We finally have all four. Well, this is the second issue that we have all four turtles together. But
Didn't
yeah,
Casey Jones come in the last
yep,
one?
yep,
So,
yep,
so you still had a character add.
yep. And then
I think this is the first one with the series artist, isn't it?
yeah, Juan Ferreira.
The first five had guest artists, and this will be the series artist for a while.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name.
I think
Fair
it's Ferreira.
Ferreira. Ferreira.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to names I probably can pronounce. Jed McKay and Netho Diaz are on X-Men number 10. This is really great storyline where they the the X mansion, Xavier's mansion, has been turned into a prison, and yeah, the X-Men have to escape the mansion. It's kind of fun. Oh, my butt's
So
starting to hurt.
my top was far and away Living Hell
Yeah,
number 3 from Caitlin Yarsky at Dark Horse.
yeah.
You know, this is the daughter of a demon who's also like the demon hunter. He has to like go take down demons that get out of line, kind
Hmm.
of um out of line by demon standards, not human standards. So in some ways it's like he has to go take down the demons who are living just ordinary lives.
Hmm.
um but it's so good because I
Yeah,
mean it
yeah.
centers on the daughter, her relationship with her
Mhm.
dad and her mom and her best friend, and just
Well,
so good.
Caitlin's really great, like with
Oh,
that
Caitlin's
kind of.
storytelling is amazing.
Hmm. So
So
I got to jump on that bandwagon.
yeah. Speaking of amazing storytelling, Galaxy of Madness number 6. We're starting our uh, kind of second arc. It's really all an arc, but the volume one was issues 1 through 5, and this definitely marked a turning point issue, as well as a new artist. Michael Avon Oeming had done duties for the first 5, and at least for this issue,
Mhm.
it was Victor Santos. Victor and Michael have worked together on books, so I assume that like it was planned from the get go. They've got similar styles, and Magdalene Visaggio's like sci-fi family story is just fantastic. I'm loving this
Mhm.
book. And then uh, in that list of books that I never thought I'd like until I finally started doing horror in comics and went, oh, I can do horror in comics.
It's not on
Exorcism at
TV.
1600 Pen,
Yeah.
um, which imagines like the first um, female president, but with like high school age kids,
Yeah.
and one of them, um I mean I don't want to give away too much, but essentially One of them is going through some serious issues, and there are some people who think that she's possessed by a demon, and there are some people that think that she's suffering Havana syndrome, the thing that a lot of our embassies have gone through. Um, so there's all sorts of family dynamics and political dynamics and um teenage dynamics all going on
Mm.
at once in a beautiful, amazing way. I'm really liking this book, Exorcism at 1600 Pen, from Hannah Hannah Rose May and Vanessa Del Rey at IDW.
It's on my pile right here.
I believe it.
Uh, yeah, it's just been a crazy week for reading, and I put together a group of like-minded individuals last week, and that's been taking up so much of my time this week.
Right,
Um,
right.
by that, I mean a small get-together of people that don't like our political climate, you know?
Well, not that small. You said how many people did you have there?
Well, okay, we our Facebook group is up to 60
Right.
and 10 people showed up for the in-person meetup this on Saturday.
And how many people live in Laverne?
5,000.
Right. So,
Yep.
I mean, for a brand new thing, that's
Yep.
like
Yeah.
you had as
I'm
many
really
people show
excited.
up for your in-person meetup that as are likely listening to this podcast.
I know. I know. So we're excited. My wife is helping administer the Facebook page because I'm really bad about social media, but
Right.
um so that's exciting. We're
Yeah.
hoping to make it to our city council meetings, start going to school board things, that different
Yeah.
kinds of things that are coming
Right.
up that we can do at a local level to put some sand in the gears of the crap that's going on.
Oh God. Yeah. So
So my
how
point is,
about the
back to
you
the
didn't
point,
get
I
to
didn't get as much reading done. I only made it
yeah.
to 391. Where are you? You
Well,
are way out
I
there.
mean, particularly because, we had what, 400 pages of concrete to read?
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, we gave ourselves heavy reading this week. But
Hmm.
yeah, I actually hadn't if we had recorded yesterday,
Hmm.
I hadn't read any One Piece yet because
Uh-huh.
of getting ready for book clubs and getting ready because like you had all the same similar reading as I did for this episode, but I also had to get ready to talk about Charlie
Yes.
Brown, and I had to get ready to talk about Love and Rockets, and I had to get ready to talk about Jack Kirby's Fourth World. So I was doing a lot of different reading this week. Um,
Hmm.
and it was all great reading, but all over the place. But like I decided that rather than diving deeper into Charlie Brown between the Kirby and Charlie Brown podcasts, that I was just gonna see how much One Piece I could get done, and I essentially got a volume done there. And
Yep.
and when we decided to actually eat dinner before we recorded this, I'm like, oh, I'll keep reading One Piece because like volume 41 ended on a hell of a cliffhanger.
Mm.
As it turns out, volume 42 ended on even a bigger cliffhanger, which is why I will probably be going back to reading One Piece in 15
After we
minutes, half an
finish.
hour when, I kind of want to finish up the time at what is it? Eno Station?
Hmm.
You know
Yep.
what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Um,
I'm looking for it right now.
where Luffy has gone full on full on madman in
Right.
his quest to save Nico Robin,
Hmm.
where we finally got her backstory, and it's heartbreaking,
They always are, you
as I
know.
somewhat expected it to be. And now
Yep.
I that much more want Luffy to prevail.
I
Um,
think
and
that
we're
he
starting to get a picture of the world government and how it might
true.
not be might not be that good.
Right.
So this has been kind of a defining arc of One
Oh,
Piece, not just the
yeah.
characters, but like we're getting this much deeper view of the
Of the
world that they
of the
live in.
world.
Right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when you're talking about oh, what's the character Luffy is rescuing? Something Robin. What's her name?
Nico Robin.
Nico Robin. Right.
Hmm.
The writer, he can really write women because she's not
Yeah.
the only character that we've gone, oh man, we have to feel
Yeah.
bad
No,
for
we had
her.
issues with Nami for a while.
Yep. I
Um,
I think he
I
writes
mean, we've
women
had
better
issues
than
with
men.
almost all. I mean, we've had issues with almost all of his crew
Uh-huh.
until we get to know them.
Uh-huh.
It took us time to be okay with Zolo. I think Chopper was the one that we warmed up to the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's such a good book.
It is. Yeah.
Such a
I
good
um
book.
I am starting to get into One Piece um pop culture stuff.
Okay,
Like a
which I
t-shirt
haven't
here.
much.
No, like a t-shirt here and a thing, you know, uh,
And
I
in fact,
saw like a
I was really glad when I went searching for action figures that I didn't find a clear line of like 3.75-inch posables because
yeah,
that's my jam. I like the
that's your
original,
go-to size.
the like 4 inch,
Yep,
the 3 to 4 inch. Essentially, I describe it as if it can't pilot my Millennium Falcon, it's
you
too
don't
big
want
for
it.
me.
Yep,
I do some 6 inches, both Marvel and Star Wars, but the ones that I care the most about are ones that I can plop into the cockpit of my Millennium Falcon
that's
and
right
like
because they
crossover Star Wars with
those old
whatever.
Kenner toys, those
Hmm.
old Kenner Star Wars toys were tiny. I mean, they were not tiny,
That's
but
like
they
the
were not.
perfect size to me, though.
Yeah,
It's like the
I
perfect
had I
size to
had
me.
some of those. Yeah. They were
I
hand-me-downs from my
I
older cousin, and I didn't
I,
realize how important they were.
I may have bought 3 of them this weekend. New ones, not
Really?
old ones. Yeah.
Oh,
I
sweet.
got a Darth Maul and a Boko Haram and um I can't remember the name of the character that that and actually I can see the actor now, but I can't remember uh either the character or his name, but I can
Hmm.
yeah, Giancarlo Esposito. Who did he play? And
I know who
um
that is, but
he
uh
played it was I think it was Moff
he
Gideon.
had the
Does that sound
he had
right?
the no, he had the black blade, right?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
yeah, and it's Moff something, but not Gideon.
If
Maybe
it is, I'm gonna like
yeah, is you
it
might
is
be right.
Moff Gideon. It is Moff
Okay.
Gideon.
Okay.
There was a 2 pack of him and Boko Haram,
Okay.
and there was a Darth Maul that looked cool, and they were all on clearance at Walmart, and so I wound up with 3 new action figures. This is not like an uncommon occurrence in our house, and doesn't always require them being on clearance. Um,
Right.
Kelly always jokes that like as we're checking out, I bet they think we have kids. Um, but yeah,
They probably do.
if I found a set of One Piece characters in that size, it would be
Uh-huh.
dangerous. But
Yeah, I
the
agree.
only ones that I found in that size are like statue type character, and I don't want the ones that I can't move.
You
Does that
want
make
an
sense?
action figure.
Yeah, I
Yep.
want an action figure, not a model.
Not a not a model. Yeah,
I got to be
I
able to
totally
play
get
with
it.
it.
Hmm.
Got to be able to fidget with it.
I am sitting here. I'm gonna
So
move.
you're a toy guy. Keep your eyes open. That's what I want.
Okay, I have this full set of Wolverines here. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, no, no,
Uh,
you're the pop guy, but you keep them all in the boxes. I don't
you
get that.
know,
I need to be able to move the arms. That's actually my problem with pops is there's no arms to move.
no, there's not.
I
And
got to be able to
Marvel
move the
have,
arms and legs. I need them as
and the
fidgets.
Marvel ones are bobbleheads, you know.
Right. Which I mean, it's a little
Ah.
bit better, but I still just don't care. I want them as like real fidgets, and or I want to be able to like act out scenes with them. You know the
Oh,
scene in
oh,
Spaceballs?
yep,
Where,
yep. Where you?
no,
Sorry,
I
I didn't
didn't
mean
see
to
you
see
playing with
catch
your
you with your
dolls
dolls
again.
again.
It's
Your
totally
action
me.
figures.
Totally me. Totally me. So,
That's
but
funny.
so how about
Well, I'm
Concrete?
getting,
Paul Chadwick.
yeah, yeah.
Had you read any before? Is the first question, or was
No.
this your first? I think I'd read a couple of short stories before in like Dark Horse
Uh-huh.
Presents and whatnot, but this is the
Yeah.
first time I like really did any deep. I've heard about it and known that a lot of people are big fans of it. That had its cult
Yeah.
following for a long time, but
Yeah.
this is the first time I really read it, and I
Yeah.
was
I just wasn't
pleasantly
even aware
surprised.
of it. I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of it, and so it obviously took me in a direction that I was not expecting because for me, when you told me Concrete, and I did a little bit of background reading about the series first, I was expecting a guy that was kind of reminded me of The Thing, right?
Right.
Uh, but it turned out to be, I mean, The Thing is deep. Don't get me wrong, Ben Grimm
Right.
is a deep character, but this was different in a good way, in a
Well,
positive way.
I mean, I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good way to describe it. Take Ben Grimm
Hmm.
and get rid of all of the other superheroes in the universe,
Hmm. Hmm.
and don't give him suddenly the ability to do acrobatics that he might not have been able to do before.
No. So this is a character that cannot do daily life. I mean, his fingers are too big. His
He seems to be able to do some typing and whatnot. He
yeah.
still writes.
Hmm.
Um, but
Ghostface kind
yeah,
of,
no,
right?
no, he's got to have a lot of things adapted for him.
Hmm.
Um, and he has certain things that he can do better. Like he goes or he helped with the farming one. I mean, the farming issue it was great.
Hmm.
The idea of like this one guy showing up and being your farm equipment for a summer.
Exactly. Because he would just, if he tried to do it, he'd just break the tools. So, I mean, he's better at digging, you know what I mean?
Right, right. Um, so yeah, no, I like that it's like the story is built around, okay, you're stuck with this. Because he
Mhm.
didn't really like choose to be like this. So it's okay, you're stuck with this. This happened to you.
Yep.
How do you find happiness and purpose anyway?
Yeah, and that's where I kind of bring up Ben Grimm because, for the longest time before he met his current wife, that was his backstory. He's just like, woe is me, I'm so ugly. Nobody wants to be with me. Look at me, I'm just a pile of rocks. And this kind of has that, not quite, but same. I
Well,
don't know.
except that I feel like it skips the woes me.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it skips the woes me,
Hmm.
just like it skips the action. And I think in some ways it's because of the reason it makes more sense for Ben Grimm to be able to do the woes me is because of the action. He does these great things and now he's stuck not being able to do the other fun stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, whereas Concrete, um, is it Don?
Ron.
Ron. Ron has to, he doesn't have obvious ways to make it work for him. So he has to come up with both.
Hmm.
He has to come up with, okay, what do I need to do to be worth keeping me alive? Because honestly, it wouldn't be easy to kill myself anyway.
No. He could throw
So
himself out a building and crack, right? Um,
maybe, maybe.
Well, he talked about that at one point. He talked about
Yeah. It
going
seems
in the
like he can
water and he
only
can,
breathe for about an hour underwater, but again, like none of these things have been completely tested,
no.
you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
Um so yeah, no, it's this fascinating character study, and it's also an interesting character study of the people around him,
Hmm.
because essentially he has two close confidants,
Hmm.
but he also travels the world, um and has to, I you know, I think, well, first, what were your favorite issues? I already brought up the farming one, which I still think is my favorite issue, but I just remembered one that's awfully close. What were your favorite stories?
Well, I honestly liked, the is is the Summit Farming one where he goes to Kentucky. Uh, is that what you're talking about?
I think so. The one where he helps the farm and then discovers that they that the dad had beat up the mom and the oldest son had killed him, and that's why they didn't want him to drain the swamp because that's where they hid the
Hmm.
body.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was awesome. But
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I didn't really think of it in terms of issues because I read it in one big chunk. So I'm
No,
kind of
I mostly did too, but
so
and
I'm
that's
going
why I
back to
said
look what issues
stories
were.
rather than issues, because like each story was kind of different. You had the farm
Hmm.
story, you had the trying to cross the Atlantic story, you had a couple different versions of the origin story, you had the meeting up with his mom story, you had the climbing Everest story. Um,
I honestly, when his author came into his life, I kind of liked that where he was just like, he's like, well, come on, we gotta go. And he's like, you're
right,
hired if you can do this.
right. I think the other one that I really loved was the one that wasn't from Concrete's perspective. Right after the
Yeah.
Everest story, there was that slightly shorter story that was all from that kid's perspective. It was the Everest story again, or at least a
Hmm.
portion of the Everest story again, but from that little Nepalese kid's perspective.
Hmm.
That was
I'm
just
looking.
so cool, you
Definitely.
know.
Hmm.
um
So, question
so
for
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Did you want to continue with concrete?
that was my plan.
Yeah, I
Three and
thought so.
four for next week, and then try to do 5 through 7 for the week after that. Um,
Do you happen to know those volumes titles,
yeah,
3 and 4?
give me a second.
Sure.
I'm certain I can find them quickly. How about that? Because
Yeah,
they are all on Hoopla.
hmm
Um, So, volume 3 is Fragile Creature. Volume 4 is Killer Smile.
Cool.
And then
Cool, cool, cool.
5 will be Like a Mountain. 6 is Strange Armor. And 7 is The Human Dilemma.
Okay. I'm on it.
So,
Can't
we'll kind
can't
of,
wait to
we'll, I think we should definitely try to do 2 volumes a week for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
well, 2 volumes for next week, and then kind of feel out whether or not we want to do 2 volumes again, or whether we want to shoot the moon and go for the third volume in that last week so that we get it done in 3 weeks rather than 4. But
I'm
that's
okay
where
with
we can play it by ear.
I'd be fine with
Because
that.
it looks like it'd be about 600 pages of reading for that third week if we decided to push through.
And then
Um,
in if that's the case, I probably will not read any One Piece just for time's sake. I really
yeah.
struggled this week to get anything
No,
all done.
which is why, we'll figure it out as we go. Um,
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to try to get through the 7 in a relatively timely manner, because it's gonna be, how to put it. We recorded our selecting the next Brits cabinet. We still need to record our discussion of Speak Up and Four Kids Walk into a Bank. But
Okay.
then the next one is going to be Concrete and something else, which I will choose while I'm reading Concrete. Um, so I wanted to be able to read Concrete in some sort of timely manner so that A, I'm ready whenever Britt gets to the point where he's ready to record, and B, so I can, in a timely manner, say, hey, I've decided we're going to pair it with this. So I'm cheating and cutting down on my reading by making it part of your reading.
That's fine. It, you know, this is a learning experience for me because, I came into doing comic book commentary just knowing what Image was putting out and Dark Horse was putting out. But like with doing this show, you're making me look at stuff that I didn't even know existed,
This is
let
like
alone
early Dark Horse.
I know.
Yeah,
And
this is like the stuff that was alongside Sin City.
mhm. This was at a time where I was just reading Amazing Spider-Man only because I
Right,
only had an
right.
allowance of,
And
whatever.
that's actually the only place that I think I've read Concrete before is I would like pick up a Dark Horse Presents that had a Sin City
Yeah.
story in it, and it would have a Concrete story in it too, and I'd wind up reading them both.
Well, from what I read, wasn't the first appearance of Concrete in a Dark Horse Presents number
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, Dark Horse Presents number one, actually, in
Yeah,
86.
yeah.
But
Which I don't think is the first. I don't think I'd read that Concrete story. I think I read a later Dark Horse Presents comic, or
hmm,
because I didn't start reading Sin City until like the late '90s, so it was probably even
hmm,
something in a Dark Horse Presents Volume
hmm,
Two.
hmm.
Um, but yeah. So, what are you looking
Well,
forward to this week? Or wait, no, I go first now. What am I looking for?
what
You're
are you?
supposed to say it to me, man. That's how we're supposed
All
to move
right.
on. You're supposed to go, Tad. What are you looking forward to
All
this
right,
week?
let's get professional, Tad. All right, Tad. Hey, what are you looking forward to this week?
Cam Girl one shot from Sarah Cho and CP Smith at
Nice.
AWA. I just love Sarah Cho's work. So I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to this. Lucky Devils number 2 from Sarl
Definitely.
Sewell and Ryan Brown. I loved the first issue. Um,
Hmm.
and now I'm cheating because I was having a hard time figuring out between like 5 books which was going to be my third. And then I
Hmm.
went, oh, 2 of these 5 books are by Kyle Starks. So we're going to do the Kyle Starks twofer of Those Not Afraid number 2 with Patrick Piazzalunga and Where Monsters Lie cul-de-sac number 4 with Peter Kowalski. And I
Ooh.
already know because I got my digital advance of American Nature Prevents number 2 that it is amazing. Um,
It is on my list.
yeah, yeah. So, what are you looking forward to?
But one of the first indie comics I had got into when I was young was a Titan comic called Lenore by Roman Dirge. He kind of did the whole thing on his own, and it took him forever and ever to get out one issue. And he's coming back with Lenore, the Time War number one. So I'm hoping that he can deliver faster than he has in the past. And then American Nature Presents number two from Greg and Fake at Floating World Comics. And then Absolute Batman
Greg and Fake and Mark Kapernov and
yes.
a cast of other people, including
Thought we would talk about it when it came out, but yes, Tad and I have
including
things in there.
me. We got 2
Yes.
whole pages this time, and
Yeah.
you.
Yes. So we'll
Yeah,
be
we
in
got a
the
2 page
issue.
spread this time.
Yeah.
Two
Pick
two
it
page
up. Go
spread
to
this time.
American Nature. Yeah.
Just skip to pages 21 and 22 because that's us.
Okay.
Though,
All
as
right.
I look at it and it's 21 and 22, that might actually mean that we don't have a 2 page spread as much as you have to turn the page, depending on how they did their numbering. because
Oh,
page
they did the
one
layout. Yep.
is often
On the right.
like
On the
on the
right.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
So no,
Okay.
oh
Let me
no,
wait.
no. It looks like they don't give a page number to uh their table of contents page.
Okay. Okay.
So we do have a spread. So just turn to page 21 and 22. Skip all that stuff by Pat Rooks and Nick Pyle and Cam Del Rosario and Alex Neal and Adam Tinius. Well, no, Adam Tinius and Alex Neal are after us. Uh, yeah. Brian Canini, Nate McDonough, Mark Kapernov. They're all before us. Skip that stuff and go to us and then go back and read all their stuff.
Mm-hmm. Um,
That's the way
Chad,
it that's the way it should work,
can
don't
you
you think?
can you go to our double? I didn't even look at it when you had it up. Could you go to it again?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I was like looking at something else, and then I noticed you have it large there. So I'm gonna. This is the first time I'm gonna see your writing and my drawing in the
Well,
comic. Okay,
so
cool.
I wrote about my favorite thing is monsters and
Mm-hmm.
in and um unflattening.
Mm-hmm.
And you drew me for the math
Mm-hmm.
lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly liked your drawing of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, funny. All right. My shoulders are a
So
little off. You could see you're holding it when your shoulders up, and the other one is slumped. So,
I'm being cool.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. Can't wait for it to come out. You guys pick up American Nature Presents. My third pick that I'm hoping will be awesome or spectacular, excuse me.
Spectacular.
Yeah, I used the wrong word. I
There's
used
no
abs
awesome Spider-Man.
there should be. Uh
You're right. There should be.
absolute Batman #5, Scott Sider and Nick Dragata from DC.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
There's another one in the books.
Hmm.
Um, we've got some stuff coming up this week. We got the Heavy Metal Book Club tomorrow.
Hmm.
Um, and then what else do we have coming up this week? We have Fellhound on Wednesday, and on Saturday we have Stefan Frank, and I still need to send out the invite. So I'm glad I went to look at the calendar. Um, we're having Alex Cormack back with the fourth different writer that he's joining us with. He's really good at bringing his writers with. I mean, the first time John Lees brought him along, but every time we've brought Alex Cormack back with people when he was doing work with people other than John
John.
Lees,
Yep.
he brought the writer back. So
Hmm.
we lined up uh the Tuesday the 18th will be Alex and Anthony Cleveland to
Nice.
discuss um Buried Long Long Ago. So yeah,
Nice.
that's what we got on the horizon.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I
So
can't wait. All right,
yeah,
guys, this has
good
been a
stuff.
fun episode. We're recording this one on Sunday night. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, me too.
Uh, all right.
I'll
So,
probably go to bed from here.
yeah, I'll probably do a little. Well, can you send me this tonight?
Yeah, as soon as I get it, I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna fall asleep before, yeah, but
Okay.
I'll probably do whatever else I do tonight will be in my bed rather than
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Got it. Got it. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys after the next page. See ya.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.